1 minute.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Before you became this global phenomenon, you used to work for a software company, if I'm not wrong, and mobile payments. It's called Venmo.
Venmo. It's not in Singapore, but the main company, PayPal, bought it. So I was working at PayPal.
So how did you go from that to becoming a global sensation?
I wouldn't call myself a global sensation, but thank you for that. But I just decided to quit. One day I realized that I was just wasting my time staring at a computer screen for 10 hours every day, doing something I disliked. And I just quit, and the next day I bought a DSLR camera, something very, very similar to this.
Okay.
No microphone even, I didn't know anything about microphones, and no Joby. And I just bought a one-way ticket outside to Kenya, and I left the US, I left my job, I left everything behind, and I wanted to make videos about everything I saw.
Wow.
And I put them on a Facebook page with 100 followers. Those were my friends. And that's it.
And what did your family say about that?
Well, you know, the way it goes with this, anything digital is, the first thing people say about digital stuff is that it's stupid, right? Snapchat, stupid when it first came out. Instagram, stupid. Now they're like insanely huge. And so when I called my parents saying I'm giving up like $120,000 a year job in New York, which is more money than my parents ever made, is a problem because I was making 1-minute videos on Facebook. You lose money on these videos. You know, I'm paying money to make these videos.
Yeah.
So for my 55-year-old like father, it's kind of worrying.
Yeah, fair enough. And how did you draw inspiration for these videos?
Inspiration, it's easy. It's anything I care about.
Okay.
NASDAILY is not CNN. I have no obligation to cover anything in the world. I have no obligation to do anything actually. And so if I care about one topic, then I'm going to do the impossible to make that video.
Right.
So I care a lot about, for example, Israel and Palestine issues. So I made a ton of videos about that stuff. But I don't care about food, as you saw. So I made very few videos about food. And that's the metric.
Okay.
Do I care about this thing?
And when you created your 1,000 videos in 1,000 days, what was that like? It must have, I mean, I can only imagine it to be exhausting.
I think it's torture. I think it was like, I think it was mental and physical torture. I think making 1,000 videos in 1,000 days was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, and I'll never, ever do it again. Because every video is a 1 minute long, but it actually takes an average between 10 to 12 hours to make that 1 minute video.
Because of the editing process.
The editing, the ideation,
Yeah.
that's disregarding travel, the shooting,
Yeah.
everything.
And you have a very tight team of people that you surround yourself with.
Yes.
How do you work in a manner where, you know, a lot of times you're the face of the brand, right?
Correct.
And how do you kind of give credit where it's due?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I try to include people as much as possible. So my teammates, one of them is my girlfriend, one of them is my best friend, and we travel together. That's before I finish NASDAILY. And you know, I include them in the videos whenever possible, but you know, at the end of the day, it is tough. Like looking at this from my girlfriend's perspective, it sucks. It sucks to be in the shadows all the time.
Yeah.
You know, when people come to both of you sitting somewhere and then they go only talk to me, right? Like they don't talk to her. Like why?
Yeah.
You know, so it is unfortunate for anyone that's around anyone that has a lot of attention.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you know, I try to help them kickstart their own channels on Facebook.
Yeah.
So my girlfriend makes her own videos on Facebook. She has 1 million followers, so she's not doing too bad. But
it's also a ripple effect, isn't it? Because you've managed to have this base of followers and fans, and now you're contributing by helping your close ones kind of create that community. So how do you feel that as content creators, you can help the rest of your community better the standards of it?
yeah, I think, you know, the first 10,000 followers are harder to get than the last 3 million followers. Now to get extra 1 million followers is like it's so much easier than the first 10,000. You just wait, and the ripple effect, the network effect, takes care of everything, right? But to get the first 10,000 is the hardest. Like, who the hell are you, and why do I care about you?
Yeah.
And so to give validation to people that this person is vetted by NASDAILY, this person is cool, and just watch their videos, and sharing their videos. I have a group called NASDAILY Global where I share content creators' videos there. It helps a lot to get that critical mass. And after you get to the 10,000 mark, then it's your responsibility. You either fail or succeed, all on your own. I don't care. You know, because if you have one viral video that's good, it will go extremely viral if the first 10,000 people like it. But you know, first of all, you want to make sure there's people to. I want to give you the critical mass.
And how do you get to that 10,000 mark? Because I mean, coming back to the marketing community, right? People are cynical about brands. They see content being put up and think there's an ulterior motive. Even CSR components of what marketers do get kind of criticized at times. So how do you think marketers can actually work in this economy where they are building that trust, building that 10,000 followers who will then become fans and advocates of the brand?
Well, they can't. It's really, really hard. I think to be a brand and to get the attention constantly without having to pay for it is extremely hard. I think people care a lot more about humans than objects. And so I think the future of CNN is not necessarily CNN, but rather Anderson Cooper. Like, I love Anderson Cooper. I don't love CNN, right? And similarly, the reason NASDAILY succeeded is because it's not called Travel Daily. It's called NASDAILY. And so if I was just a travel page, like beautiful destinations or whatever, it's cool. You get a lot of followers, whatever, but it's hard to get the consistent followers, consistently people to send you messages and care about you. So my advice to any brand is you need to humanize the brand by literally finding a human to speak on behalf of your brand.
Fair enough.
Could be an employee.
So you're right. And in fact, I think telling employee stories is one way a lot of brands have now started to kind of show that there are human facets behind any large corporation, right?
I agree. I agree. If you're Nike, for example, like what we do now is like you go to Nike and say, you had a new shoe, great, like nobody cares. Instead of making a video about the shoe, I want to make a video about the athlete that's using the shoe, their story, their struggles, their success, and that video has a lot higher sort of engagement than just a shoe video.
Fair enough. And how did you, I mean, coming back to your 1,000 videos, how did you decide on the time frame of it? Because a lot of times there's a conversation, oh, should I make it 3 minutes? Do consumers want to watch something for 3 minutes? Is 1 minute enough? Is 1 minute too long? I mean, we know, we talk about it all the time, that consumer attention span is now less than 8 seconds. So, you know, it's a tough world out there. So how did you decide on that strategy?
So I'm very lucky in a way because I grew up as a middle child, and I grew up as a you know, as a second-class citizen in my country, and I never had attention, and I never had anyone care about what I had to say. I'm surprised you guys are listening to me. And so growing up with this whole sort of self-doubt is a good thing for me because it made me want to say what I want to say really damn fast, okay? Because I know you don't have time for me. And so I wanted to keep it at a minute because I realized I don't deserve your time. I don't deserve more than a minute of your time. It just so happens that people are also incredibly sort of short attention span. And so they like the idea for 1 minute. And now that NASDAILY is growing and so is my confidence, now I make 3-minute long videos, 7-minute long videos. They'll listen, you know.
And do you see that there's a drop-off at any point? Do you see that, okay, until the 2-minute mark, then people are like, oh, okay, let me just switch the channel. Do you see that?
I see the drop-off whenever there's an ad. Mid-rolls. So I only do Facebook. So I don't do YouTube. I don't use YouTube at all. Whoever puts my content on YouTube is stealing them, which is very unfortunate. But I have sort of moral and ideological and practical reasons why I only chose Facebook for this journey.
What were the reasons?
First of all, YouTube content in terms of vloggers is despicable. It's on the news, you see a lot about Logan Paul goes to suicide forest, or you see about pranks, or putting women naked on your thumbnail to get the clicks, or saying I bought a Maserati just to show that you're quote unquote rich. But I think that's terrible content for kids. I think it's terrible for the society. I think it's a negative value effect. And so I don't want to be part of that system, and I don't think YouTube is doing enough to stop that. And so I wanted to just go on Facebook where my friends are and just make videos about whatever I care about.
Right.
And never prank, never sexualize, never make stupid content. And it worked because I think Facebook changed their algorithms to favor meaningful social interactions.
Yeah.
So if you put a prank video on Facebook, it does way worse than if you put a video about environmentalism.
Right.
And that was lucky for me.
First question, are you banned from China now?
That's a hard question. I mean, look, I went to China after Singapore, and I made 20 positive videos about China. Feng Shui in China, smart people in China. I mean, the truth is, people don't realize this, but I make a fair amount of negative and a fair amount of positive about places, even Singapore. And I thought it was responsible to talk about that thing.
Yeah. And how do you find that balance of being funny and educational and sometimes a little bit sensational as well?
Always sensational. But it's not like the bad, like real bad sensational, you find it on YouTube. Like, I think that's just like a little bit crossing the line. I do try to sometimes like, wow, this is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. Okay, because I generally feel excited, man. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, wow, this is the worst thing in the world because I'm generally angry.
Yeah.
I think the point of the NASDAILY videos is to give you a spark, is to tell you, this is something interesting you should know more about. You watch that video or the 1-minute videos, and you should go to Google immediately after and go read the Wikipedia, go read the news articles, and become an expert at this. But it's never my intention to make a 45-minute long documentary about one thing, at least not yet.
And your brand that comes across to most people is that you're extremely positive. And in the media business, you can often see that negative news sells. So is this something that you are trying to tackle with your
This is why I'm amazed NASDAILY was successful. This is why it blows my mind. Because I never manufacture drama like most content creators do, including the media.
Yeah.
And I noticed a lot of it happens in Singapore too. You manufacture drama, any thing to make a drama out of it, to get a couple of page views.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. And so to be able to, like, I've had drama in 1,000 days, I've had 4 dramas,
Okay.
and they were all real, right? Like one, I was almost punched by a guy. Another, someone was being racist to me. Another, but never to manufacture it. And so it's hard to be noticed when you're positive. It's hard to be noticed when you're not making people angry.
Yeah.
And so the answer is, I don't know. I think a lot of people realize maybe they thought that I'm being genuine and I'm not trying to like. There's a difference between going in a kumbaya circle and being like the world is great, and going in a circle and being like meditation or whatever. There's a difference between saying that and between saying, hey, this country has a lot of problems, but check this one thing out. It is amazing and you should pay attention. Even in Egypt, like a country that has so many problems right now, there's incredible things that you can still show.
Yeah. So we're not going to see any 45-minute long yoga poses from you. Okay.
Not yet. Maybe from my girlfriend, but not from me.
So I know you're talking about positivity, and since you've arrived in Singapore, there have been some videos that are created by our local talent. Can you play a little bit and surprise us? I don't know if you've seen it.
I've seen all of them.
Yeah, you have. Okay.
You know why? Because I'm looking to hire. So, funny thing is, I'm meeting the Ministry of Funny tomorrow, and I'm meeting this guy on the 29th.
Oh, Fantastic.
And, you know, and they both want to meet. And so it is, I love them. I love that stuff. One, it's because, first of all, I don't believe in bad publicity, right? Anything is good. The more of this, the better. Two, I think it's great for me to see what talent exists there and try to sort of get them into my company. Because, you know, it's hard to find people that are good in front of the cameras. And one of them was better than the other in front of the cameras. But I want to get them to my team as well. Three, about the actual content, I think it's valid, you know? You can criticize, you can make fun of. I think that's amazing.
How do you handle criticism?
Like I handle it just like I handle compliments. Thank you. I say thank you and keep going. No, I mean, look, at the end of the day, right? Like a lot of these people are trying to shed light on what's bad in Singapore, and I'm glad they're doing it, right? I've shed some of that light in some of my videos, but I'm not going on a crusade against Singapore, kind of like how I didn't go on a crusade against Papua New Guinea, a place with exponentially more problem. You know, so it's completely, I'm glad they're using the format to get their point across.
So and this is exactly what we talked about, right? The ripple effect. People see something that they enjoy, they kind of replicate it. How do you ensure that then the iconic NASDAILY voice is not lost, or is that something you're happy to share with fellow content creators?
The format?
The format, the voice of things, the way you put issues across.
I mean, the way I put issues across is I just scream, right? There's nothing really unique about that. So I think people are just like, you know, stealing the yellow and white, and they're speaking in the same way. But this is mostly like comedy, right? This is like what, 30, 40, 50,000 views. Like that's cute, but that'll never get to the millions.
Right.
So I'm not too concerned with that. I think NASDAILY is very personality driven. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I don't think there's another person that is an exact replica of me, just like how I don't think there's another person that's an exact replica of you. So I don't see it like losing value anytime soon.
Are there any big brands that you work with, any client-side marketers that you work with?
What's a marketer? Everyone's gonna crusade me here. Yeah, we've worked with a few big brands in the past. Yeah. We've worked with Copenhagen Tourism. We've worked with Turkish Airlines. We worked with Teva Pharmaceuticals. So there's a difference, right? So there's the NASDAILY channel and there's the NASDAILY company.
Yeah.
So the NASDAILY channel is it's 10 times more strict than the NASDAILY company. The NASDAILY company works with anyone. Well, actually not anyone, but like it works with many people because it just creates content for them.
Yeah.
The NASDAILY channel is me, and I need to stand behind a brand like fully. So, you know, I really like Turkish Airlines, so we did a campaign with them. We did the Royal Air Maroc with Broom. Nothing in Singapore.
Yeah, so
Can you imagine? Nothing in Singapore.
That's something that was raised, right, when you were doing all the videos with Changi and Sports Hub, and a lot of people thought those were sponsored content.
Yeah.
But then it wasn't, it was just you.
Just me being genuinely amazed.
Yeah. So how do you kind of make it clear to your audiences that this is not paid for? Do you use the sponsored ad labels? Do you make it explicit that this is an ad? And how do your clients then handle it? Because a lot of times they would like it to be a little bit more masked.
Well, it's the legal thing to do is to use it.
Yeah.
So whenever it's required, we use it.
Yeah.
Right? So for example, we're doing something with Las Vegas in the next month or so, and we're going to use it. And that's completely fine. I don't think it's my responsibility to tell people sort of, to remind people this is not sponsored. I've done it before. I wrote in the post that this is not sponsored. But the more you talk about it, sort of the more it becomes like, oh, is he actually sponsored? Kind of like how Trump talking about no collusion. Is there collusion? You know? So it's like, and it's funny. It's funny coming from media in Singapore, to be honest, because between two of us, you're more sponsored by the government than I am. Right? There's Media Corp right there. That's sponsorship from the government. A lot of the people the media, like Mothership and whatnot, they've taken a ton of money from the government. So the truth is, a lot of you guys are sponsored by the government and not me. And I'm pretty happy about it. That being said, I'm not against the company working with the government to make videos. That is completely normal, and I will do it.
And if you plant yourself in Asia, there are a lot of emerging markets where rules and regulations are not as firmed up in the space of digital and social media.
But in those places, there's also no money for sponsorships.
Well,
Not enough.
I think there are some markets where you see Indonesia is very big when it comes to influencers. So how do you foresee yourself working in markets where there might be a little bit of push in terms of, hey, let's not label it so explicitly? Or do you stand by, what, if you work with me, I gotta label it?
So we've actually never had that happen.
Okay.
We've never. I think it's because. I think maybe it's because NASDAILY is so expensive to actually make like a fully sponsored video. Like, don't get me wrong, right? Like sometimes I get free hotel stays or free flights or whatever.
Yeah.
That doesn't count as sponsorship because at the end of the day, it's me who decides on exactly what videos to make and what words to say. Like there's no other influence. So at that point, I don't see it as sponsorship. So free flights and whatnot, we've had a lot of those, and we thank the people in the post. Like thank you X, for example. Thank you Cebu Pacific. Like when I first started making videos, that was the first ever company to be like, hey, we'll give you a free flight.
Yeah.
So thank you Cebu Pacific for the free flight. So the brand wants the thank you, right? But the thank you gets mostly for what you get for free.
And how much is the thank you worth?
The thank yous are free. It really depends.
Okay.
So when there is no worth it thank you. The thank you is worth just there was a time where I got a hostel free night stay right in Israel. The owners of the hostels were my friends and they gave me one night stay. It's like literally $50. And I said thank you, right? And then there's other times where it's the Four Seasons, it's like $1,000, or Maldives, $2,000, and I said thank you. It's the same thing. It doesn't really matter. There is no limit. It's just it's more of a, I think it's more of a human thing.
And with 99 Co as well in Singapore, right? You guys are getting a sort of like a 3-month free stay if you're using the platform. So how do you handle requests like that just get thrown in your direction? Do you sit back and think, okay, what is the long-term impact of me doing this right now? Or is it just, hey, let me just grab the opportunity while it lasts?
No. If I were to grab every opportunity while it lasts, I wouldn't be here because I'd be busy showing you how amazing Coca-Cola is. So we've said a lot more no's than yes.
Okay.
The 99 Co, who here would say no to like $15,000, right? It was just a company that came out of the blue, made a video, said, hey, we want to help you find a house. And I'm going to a new country where I actually need help finding a house. It's not a luxury.
Yeah.
This is a necessity.
Yeah.
And so, and my girlfriend is obsessed by sort of where we live because it really affects the mood.
Yeah.
And so they're doing a lot more than just covering the rent for like 2 months. We're actually still paying on top of it because it wasn't enough. But they're actually helping us find the place, so going one place to another. And that help is priceless for us. So for me, what I value most in 99 Co is not the money. And in fact, they're probably going to get more than what they paid. But it's the fact that they reached out and it's the fact that they understood what our concerns are and they were helpful. And that I do not take for granted ever.
And do you get a lot of impromptu requests or partnerships like that?
Yeah, but almost always we sort of say like no because sometimes it's just too small, right? Like we want to give you a free car, like a free car rides or whatever. Like I can pay my own car rides for $200. I don't need to put your brand all over next to my brand for $200, right? I need to be very, very careful. There's only so many brands you can work with in your lifetime, and you need to be strategic about it.
So I read in a Straits Times article that you make about $80,000 a month.
I completely forgot about, that's an old number.
And half of that is from Facebook ads on your 4-minute long videos, and the rest are from brand deals. How many deals or requests for partnerships do you get in a month?
Well, that's the company stuff. So the company, so I think it's around between, by the way, I'm very open with money. I'm completely transparent. I think between 150 to 200 a month now. And I think 50 to 100 come from the NASDAILY page, the mid-roll ads. So if you have a 3-minute long video, you can, you just like YouTube, you just put a mid-roll ad, and Facebook figures out the rest. So Facebook takes 50% and you take 50%. Now NASDAILY is going to be sponsored by Facebook. And from that you can make, I think, $1,000 for 1 million views.
Yeah.
And you can make around between 50 to 100,000 per month, depending on how good the month was for the channel. And then from the company you make another, for now it's 100, but I think I wanted to increase. I wanted to be 1 million. I wanted to be $5 million per month.
Yeah.
So that's why we're here in Singapore, to really build up the company. Most of the clients that we get are like, for example, our current clients right now is like, all of them are Israeli companies. And we're in talks with some Singaporean companies, but for now all of them are Israeli. And one of them, what was it called? University of the People, for example.
Okay.
It's a university that wants to make videos about its students.
Yeah.
And NASDAILY, Nas means people in English, in Arabic. So I make videos about humans all the time.
Yeah.
And so university came in and said, we want you to make videos about our students and how our university is helping them and the degree is helping them.
Yeah.
And I said, great, let's do it. This is amazing.
Yeah.
I would totally put my brand behind this. You're making videos about students and you're getting paid for it. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wherever I go around the world, I only rely on people that speak English. That's why NASDAILY is big in English-speaking countries and not as much in non-English-speaking countries. That's why NASDAILY is big in Singapore. But I noticed, for example, in Israel, only the top 15% in terms of like socioeconomic status know what NASDAILY is, because usually you see an association, right, with like your income and your English proficiency, and so you see sort of the richest kids in every country know what NASDAILY is, and unfortunately the tuk-tuk driver, for example, in Sri Lanka doesn't know what NASDAILY is yet. He is on Facebook, but he just doesn't care about my content because it's not in his language. I've been thinking about localizing it. There's a few languages I care about reaching, like Arabic. I want to reach a lot more Arabs, Spanish, and Chinese. But that's it. But the thing with Thai, for example, it's a big time investment for me to go translate 1,000 videos and actually edit the videos and then launch them on a page with 0 followers to start again NASDAILY Thai. And so how big is the Thai market for me? If you talk from a global perspective, it's not as big as the Spanish one. And so that's why I've decided maybe I want to limit it to 3 languages. And that's it. But again, I have limited resources. If I was Nike or something, of course, I will translate it to everything, including Sanskrit, you know? Why not?
Can we take a look at the question returning from overseas? What's the content you've always wanted to create but haven't gotten the chance to make yet?
Great question. In Singapore, or?
You can answer both.
I've always wanted to go to your incineration plant.
Okay.
And I'm actually doing it today. I think, so we made a video about how Singapore cleans, which is the landfill, Semakul landfill, and that was the end result. That video we made went like extremely viral, but it was the end result of your process.
Yeah.
And so I wanna try to track your trash from the minute you throw it in the bin to where it goes, to where it's burned, to where it's buried.
Yeah.
And I think that middle part, the incineration plant, is one thing I haven't seen yet.
Okay.
And so I'm really interested in, so I'm going there today with Talking Point to see it, and maybe make a video. We'll see. I need to see if I want to make a video about it. That's one. 2, I want to, shipping. Shipping is very interesting. So I want to make a video about shipping. Ships, how does it work? All that's like, maybe live on a ship. Like this whole process of like shipping is amazing.
Okay.
The fact that a stupid like plastic pen can make it from China to New York is incredible.
Yeah.
So I wonder if I can make content that's not boring about this topic.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I'd love to see how you put a spin on that because, I mean, to a very young consumer, something like Chinese money might not be on top of their minds, right?
Yeah.
It's something that they would actually watch because of the spin that you put into it.
Exactly.
So I think those are great topics. I'm more for the shipping. I think that's...
You're more for the shipping?
Yeah, I'm more for
No, incineration is amazing. Because the reason is, how do you burn something and not pollute?
Yeah. It's a hot topic right now, right?
Is it?
And
Oh yeah, environmental. Yeah.
It was yesterday, so
Oh, it was.
everyone was talking about it. So
Cool.
fair enough. Let's take a look at the one with 21 volts. Is the level of energy authentic in all your videos? How do you keep up the consistent momentum despite haters online amongst many other supporters?
I mean, you tell me if you think it's authentic. Like, I sure hope it comes off authentic because it is authentic. And if it comes off as fake, then something's off, right? I think across all my videos, it is authentic. There are many videos that I've made, and that's the problem. People only remember your brand for the one video, right? But they don't see that you've made 1,000 videos, and of them, there's 150 videos where you're tired and disgusted and like just annoyed. And that those videos exist. So I'm trying to make NASDAILY as much of a true copy of real life as possible.
Right.
How do you keep up a consistent momentum despite haters online among? This whole despite haters online amongst many others, that's just incorrect. Like, because if you look at the grand scheme of things, when you have 100,000 likes on a video, and then you have 1,000 people up likes on a comment that says "I hate you, NASDAILY" as a comment, and saying it has 1,000 upvotes.
Yeah.
Like what does that come out to? Okay, you have 100,000 people that said yes to you, and then there's 1,000 people that said no to you. That's a 99% approval rate. That's better than any damn president in the world. Okay, so this whole, again, it gets back to the media focus on the tiny things. Like, did you get a permit for your botanical gardens or did you not?
Yeah.
Like, this whole focus on the tiny things it can be irritating.
Yeah.
Because 95% of the people that watch NASDAILY, 95% actually like it. And I know there's 10% that are against it, and that's great. But it's nowhere near as big as people think it is.
And do you feel the need to address these concerns?
Yes and no. Like on the one hand, it's like, it's great, it's free publicity. It is literally free publicity. And at the end of the day, I think people are gonna be on their bed or pooping with their phone on, watching NASDAILY, and they'll make their own mind. They'll say, I like this guy, I hate this guy. And that, for me, that's the final verdict.
Did at any point all the publicity with the good and the bad, at any point you think like, oh man, maybe Singapore wasn't the place?
No, never. Yeah, I don't think you guys realize like where I come from, right? Like I come from Israel, okay? We have like gigantic problems facing the country right now, facing my people, facing everybody, okay? The amount of hate amongst people in Israel, and I don't want to paint Israel as a bad place. It is the Singapore of the Middle East in some way. But in another way, the problems that are there and the hate that's there is 100 times more than in Singapore. This is just, it's cute. Here is just cute. It's not, NASDAILY didn't get a permit, I hate him. Come on.
Alright, we've got 5 more minutes. Let's take the question with the 18 votes. I'm not sure if you answered this before, but what's the story behind your iconic shirt? It's as iconic as your attire, and you use it in the best way possible.
Thank you, in the best way possible. So my T-shirt. So when I was working at PayPal as a software engineer, I did a simple calculation. I said, okay, how old am I now, and when will I die, and what do I want to do before I die? I really am interested in death.
Okay.
So like where do you think you're gonna die? In Singapore?
I haven't penned that out yet.
So it's a very important question.
It's not a question for me right now.
But when will you die?
I don't know.
How old will you be when you die?
Maybe 65?
No, more.
Oh, come on. I don't want to live past 65.
Me neither. So, so it turns out I will die at age 76 to 78,
Okay.
on average. No one here is playing God, but on average, that's when you'll die. And back then I was 24. And so 24 out of 76 was around 32% back then. And I was like, crap, I'm 1/3 dead. Like, I'm literally one third of my life is over, and my 20s are the most important one, not my 60s. I don't want to be traveling when I'm 60. And so, what am I doing now with my 2/3 left in my life? So I decided to quit and start NASDAILY and abuse every single day to make a video and live and make something meaningful every single day. And I decided to wear this t-shirt, one, because it makes traveling easy.
Okay.
I have 20 of this,
Yep.
and that's the
I was
only.
about to ask.
Yeah,
Wash it every
I wear the same t-shirt design, not the same t-shirt. and that's it. I just traveled 20 of these. I have 2 pants, 1 pair of shoes, and like 10 socks, and that's it. And it's a reminder for me that life is not infinite. It reminds me to use my time wisely and not to do anything I don't want to do. That's why I'm here, because I want to do this interview. Of course.
All right, last question, or well, second last maybe. What's your strategy towards getting new followers, or advice that you have to follow fellow content creators that are seeking to get more followers?
How do you get more followers? Man, I wish I knew. I wish after 12.5 million followers, I still don't know. You know, the only way to get to new followers is just to make good content. You can't buy new followers; those are useless followers. They actually make it worse. You can't buy your way through with sponsored videos or sponsored page. So you just have to make good content that makes me want to click that share button. That Chinese money trap thing you saw, that was viewed 25 million times, and it was shared around 500,000 times. So 500,000 people decided to click share. It means that the topic was relatable in a way that's understandable, and in a way that makes you think about yourself, your country. That's it. It doesn't make you think about me. Who the hell cares about me? I want it to be, and even when I make videos about me, for example, I made a video called Why I Quit Partying, why I no longer go to clubs. Like, who gives a shit why I don't go to clubs anymore? But you make that video in a way that makes people say, oh, wait, I also quit partying for the same reason. Share!
Right.
You know? And so, as relatable as it gets, the more shares you get.
We've been dancing with our eyes from across the room.